What's up, fellow Vanguard nerds? I'm Babblerab, and this is going to be a quick analysis on some of the grade 3 choices that you could be running for Rexes. The idea to make this video was brought up by someone commenting saying, hey, do you think that Tyrant Death Rex, or you think you would run Tyrant Death Rex over any of your other Rexes presently in the current Rex deck? So, in order to properly answer this question, I could have just gone and typed in a comment with a wall of text, which frankly would have been the easier choice to do and would probably take me less time. But instead, I figure out, might as well go and record a video because I got nothing to do right now. So let's go into a little more depth describing what cards or what Rexes like you should be looking at. So we're going to first discuss the 3 Rexes that I play in my Rex deck, and then we'll go and have a look at some of the other Rex grade 3s and just do a quick analysis over the pros and cons of each of them. And needless to say, there's going to be a few that are not very interesting for obvious reasons. So, yeah, we're going to basically... I can't talk. Anyway, let's just get to the first one. So, we're going to talk about the newest Rex that was released first, which is Swordhorn Dragon Scathe Rex. So, for everyone who doesn't know, what he does is you choose one of your rearguards with Rex in its name and sack it. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, you draw a card and it gets 3k. So, beforehand, if this was the only card that got released, my opinion would be I don't think this would be as versatile as Tyrant Death Rex, because what Tyrant Death Rex does, let's analyze this guy first, I guess, is when he attacks, he gets 5k till the end of the battle. It doesn't matter what he attacks, and it's on Vanguard only, and then when he hits, you choose one of your rearguards and retire it. Now, before Scathe Rex existed, this actually was a very, in my opinion, would have been a very good card to have played in Rexes. I didn't have any Tyrant Death Rexes at the time, so I was restricted to 4 Dark Rex, 4 Squall Rex, because I was like, well, I'm not going to go run Battle Rex for, not Battle Rex, sorry, Giga Rex, because I hope I don't have to explain why I'm not going to run Giga Rex. So, what's nice about this guy is if your opponent has Crossroad, it doesn't really matter because the 15k is still going to hit, and back in the day when your opponent's Vanguard was only a 10k base, this guy was swinging unboosted and forcing at least a 10k guard from your opponent for him to 1-pass. The issue with this guy nowadays is with the sheer amount of 11k units that are being used as primary Vanguards. From what I've noticed, like practically all of my decks are using an 11k Vanguard as their main, except for my Royal Paladin Dog deck, but we're not going to count that. So the fact that there's so many 11k Vanguards now wandering around means that this guy's 15k is pretty negligible, considering the fact that A, he's already got through the 13k cross-ride threshold, and B, if your opponent's 11k, they still can just guard for 5 and say hit 1 trigger to put yourself to over 16k. If he was an 11k, I would find him infinitely more useful, and I would even consider running him over Scathe Rex. The reason why I think Scathe Rex is slightly superior to this guy is he gains the 3k, which puts him over the threshold already, plus you get a card into your hand. In addition to this, when he is put on the Vanguard or Rearguard circle, you bind a Rex from your hand, which means they can set up like a Wrapped Rex or a Squall Rex. Now, some of you guys might be preparing to say, well, Babblerab, it also says you have to choose a unit with Rex in its name, and it has to be when it attacks a Vanguard. Now, I agree with that those are some slight downsides. However, if you factor in the benefits of it, Rexes are perfectly fine to just sack stuff off the moment you attack anyway, because if you play the deck correctly, you're going to have a line of units that you're going to use as food line anyway, so it really doesn't matter too much that you're sacking stuff off beforehand. In addition, the fact that it's only a Rex thing, I can see that being a big problem if this was the only unit that was released. This is what I started with saying before, and then was just like, I'm just going to go off on a tangent. But the fact that we now have Barrage Rex, Squall Rex, which is toolboxable, like any Rex unit that you have in your deck can be toolboxed by Hell Rex Maxima, which means that you have a bound Raptor Rex or a bound Squall Rex, and they've already, and like they're called and they do their attack or whatever, and then you can just sack off your dead cards. Like I said, Rexes play sort of similar to Great Nature in that they don't really care what happens to their rear guards at the end of the turn, because they'll either convert that into more attacks or hand advantage. So the fact that it can be, your Rexes are pretty not needed, English, that was bad English. The fact that your Rexes are more or less useless after they finish their attack, outside of just being used to sack off for more Rex effects, means that this guy, you don't care about what your targets are for the most part. Like, Squall Rex is pretty much a vanilla, and so is Raptor Rex after they're done attack, or after they're done doing their thing. The only one that's not a vanilla is Barrage Rex. So, again, like, the Rex thing would be a problem if if this was the only card that was released. Then it would be like, well, I just have Assault Rex and I just have Squall and Dark. But the fact that we have Barrage Rex, Raptor Rex, and Mini Rex means that this thing's skill can be activated with much greater ease because you will more likely have a target. So that's kind of the main comparison here between Scathe and Death Rex. I think Death Rex is better, or would have been better, if we didn't have as much Rex support. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have gotten Rex support, because the Rex support is freaking amazing. But as it currently stands, I believe that Scathe Rex is the superior choice to Death Rex. However, let's assume that you're unable to get your hands on a copy of Dark Rex or Squall Rex. Well, as a secondary Vanguard, yes, I would run Death Rex as a secondary. Like, basically, in order from like the Rexes I would most likely play, the top 3 is obviously Scathe, Dark, and Squall, but Tyrant Death Rex is definitely by far the 4th best choice if you're unable to get your hands on a Scathe Rex, in my opinion. Mainly because we don't want to really talk about Battle Rex and Giga Rex. Yeah, I hope I don't need to explain how, like, the usefulness of Squall and Dark Rex, because Squall Rex is, the role in its deck is in the deck that the role in Rexes, in my opinion, is Squall is basically the core of your deck. So, core of your deck is basically the only thing you're ever going to be superior calling, and then Dark Rex, while not seeming as useful right off the get-go, the moment your opponent hits 5 damage, that's when that card starts to really shine. So Dark Rex is more endgame, hence the Limit Break 4, but also the conditions of when you want to be using it, versus Squall, Raptor Rex, and Scathe Rex are more early game, or they're more throughout, versus Dark Rex really shines at the end game. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick discussion on these last 2 Rexes, even though it should be obvious why you would not run them. So yeah, if this answers anyone's questions, feel free to just stop watching right now. If you want to see me go and trash these 2 Rexes, or say good and bad things and do a slight review on this, go ahead and keep watching. But let's begin right now. So, Battle Rex. When he reveals a grade 3 Tachikaze, choose one of your rear guards and retire, and he gains 10k. That's fine, except there's a huge problem with that. It's got a beautiful thing called Limit Break 4 slapped on it, so you gotta be at Limit Break to even get this effect. Like, I wouldn't even I would consider maybe playing it if that Limit Break 4 wasn't slapped on. But Bushiroad was just like, let's put a Limit Break 4 on it because we can. Like, the 10k is nice. Once again, there's still the problem of it's still a 10k base. So, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, why do I really want to play this card? The Limit Break 4 doesn't give me any motivation to actually use the thing. And then we get to Giga Rex, which is during your turn when another of your Tachi rear guards put in your drop zone against 1k. Well, that's nice, that's on a Vanguard and a rear guard skill. There's just one problem, is that practically every other card with Rex in its name that is a grade 3 exists. Like, why do I want to play Giga Rex when Tyrant Death Rex is superior to it? Squall Rex, Dark Rex, Scathe Rex, and even Battle Rex are much better cards than Giga Rex. Like, I don't think I really need to talk any further about why this card's not that good. If anyone wants to make a Giga Rex deck and say, hey Babblerab, check out my amazing Giga Rex deck, go ahead and try it, but just no. I don't think it's worth it. Anyway, that is my long... Oh my god, that is my way too long rant on the new Rex cards over a single question that could have just been turned into a wall of text that could have been read in 2 minutes. So, hooray for putting too much effort into answering a question.